Hey, Eric Nance here. Welcome to the Dark Side of Therapy, the show where we help new clinicians get into the field, avoid the mistakes, and hopefully have a successful career. So tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, and not because I'm a big fan of either actor. I kind of like Johnny Depp, but any kind of court trial that's broadcast to the world has certain mental health implications. And I've lived through some really interesting trials in my life. In the 90s, we had three huge ones. We had OJ, watched that live. We had the Lorena Bobbitt case. And then we had the Tonya Harding case, the famous skater from my home state, embarrassingly enough. But what was missing, I think, is we didn't talk a lot about the psychological aspects. And I don't think in any one of those cases on TV a psychologist ever came on. And if they did, I don't remember. But this doctor, Shannon Curry, watching her talk and go up against this attorney, she says something I rarely hear. And this is something I want the young therapists out there to focus on, because after listening to her, I really like this therapist.
And trauma can cause borderline personality disorders, can't it?
No.
Never?
Right now, we know that there are people who have borderline personality disorder who have sustained childhood trauma. There are also people who have borderline personality disorder who have had no childhood trauma. So like most personality disorders, and really like most mental health issues in general, there seems to be both a biological component, in this case with borderline.
Shannon Curry has just become my favorite therapist in the news right now. And here's why. Very few therapists will have the courage to say that borderline personality disorder is not caused by trauma. And she didn't even hesitate. I mean, that was a very forceful answer. Now, this is something I believe in, and those of you that have taken my course and watching some of the other podcasts know how I feel about BPD and the fact that trauma is too often associated with it, if not stated as causal. And the research doesn't bear that out. Go to Greg Lester, go to Marsha Linehan, go to the people who really know this stuff. Now, I don't know much about Shannon Curry. I know she's a practicing clinician in Orange County, California, owns an agency, has other therapists working with her, does some work with the military. But this is really impressive. She's not trying to impress. She's trying to tell it like it is. And this is something younger clinicians need to hear, because so often in the media, so often in the news, we're going to be told trauma is causal with borderline personality disorder. Now, I don't know how many of you are watching the trial right now, probably a lot of you. This information is going to get out there. A lot of people are going to hear it. And because of that, I just couldn't be happier.
Which tends to support a genetic component and possibly a neurological component. And then there is also possibly an environmental component triggering those genetic markers.
Would you agree that if you did not find something that would be in favor of Mr. Depp and negative to Ms. Heard, that you wouldn't be an expert in this case? That I can bring you into court if you're going to say that Ms. Heard is right and Mr. Depp is wrong, correct?
So as a forensic psychologist, my obligation is to the court, is to the fact finder. I present science regardless of what that science may be. Now, when I take a case, my retainer agreement is explicit about that.
So I like that she says I use the science. She's well researched in this stuff. She's done her homework. And remember, this is a person that also specializes in trauma work. So she's just not advocating for BPD because she can. She understands the difference. So she's one of my new favorite online kind of showing the world therapists. And again, I want to just give her a lot of credit for being so brave, because it's a very dangerous thing to say in our mental health culture. And many of my peers know that. Stop thinking BPD is caused by trauma. The research says it's mostly genetic with some environmental factors, but not causal. So we need to get that thinking out of our system. So Shannon Curry, thank you very much for making my job fun tonight and being a future psychologist that I'm going to listen to. This is Eric Nance with the Dark Side of Therapy. If you like this video, please hit like, and as always, please subscribe. Thank you much.